Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Tuesday, January 24th, 2023, National Compliment Day in the U.S., and an opportunity for each of us to spread some cheer just because we can. Remember, it doesn't cost a dime to be kind, and you just might make someone's day. And for sure, this next story made ours. It's about a raccoon, his butt, and some really cold railroad tracks. The animal was trying to get from one side to the other in Cochran, Georgia, when he apparently took a break, sat down just a little too long in the 10-degree weather, and wound up frozen stuck to the tracks by the hair on his behind. According to the Good News Network, Neil Mullis is the hero of the story. He was the rail worker on duty who found the understandably traumatized critter. After a 5-minute procedure involving warm water and a shovel, the raccoon ran and never looked back. The tufts of hair left behind told the story. Operation well performed, summed up Neil. This little fella is safe now. Georgia railroad tracks may be cold, but they can't hold a candle to a remote area in the eastern plateau of Antarctica. According to NASA, that is the coldest place on Earth. The mercury there can reportedly dip to a bone-chilling minus 136 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a different title for the coldest area where people actually live, and that dubious distinction goes to 2 locations in northeastern Siberia, where the towns have recorded a frigid minus 90 degrees, once back in 1933 and another time in 1892. Brock Purdy continues to redefine the title Mr. Irrelevant. Sunday night, the last pick of the draft, and the Niners' third-string quarterback won his 7th straight game as starter to lead San Francisco to the upcoming conference finals. The win was a team effort for sure, but Brock's Cinderella story is the one in the spotlight, which begs the question, is all the attention going to his head? For now, apparently not. He told reporters he's faith-based, grounded, and keeps what he does in perspective. I don't look at football like it's literally everything, he said. It's a game, and it's my job, and I take it very seriously. But at the end of the day, I know that, as a person, I'm not defined by the wins or losses. Brock's next big test is Sunday, when he and his Niners face off against the Philadelphia Eagles. Finally, some good news on the health front. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, the 3 most active winter viruses are taking a break. The total number of emergency room visits for flu, COVID-19, and RSV has now dropped to its lowest level for all age groups. The FDA, meantime, wants to make COVID shots a yearly jab, like those for the flu. That means Americans would no longer have to keep track of how many boosters they've received or when. And maybe more people would get them. While more than 80% of Americans have had at least one vaccine dose, only 16% of those eligible have received the latest boosters. A panel of outside experts will give their opinion on the plan this Thursday. This morning, actors find out if they've been nominated for Hollywood's biggest honor, the Oscar. And among the many questions will be whether 2 of this year's biggest hits, Avatar: The Way of Water and Top Gun: Maverick, make the cut. Regardless, the Avatar sequel has already made movie history. Over the weekend, it crossed the $2 billion mark for worldwide ticket sales. Only 6 movies have ever done so, and the director of Way of Water, James Cameron, now holds bragging rights to 3 of them, including the original Avatar and Titanic. Rounding out the exclusive $2 billion club, Avengers: Endgame, Avengers: Infinity War, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. That's it for KidNuz. Now, our KidNuz quiz. What kind of animal had to be rescued when its butt froze to railroad tracks in Georgia? A raccoon. According to NASA, where is the coldest place on Earth? The eastern plateau of Antarctica. What big awards get announced this morning? The Oscars. The FDA would like Americans to get a COVID shot. How often? Every year, like those for the flu. In today's Kid News Kicker, who amongst us hasn't grown tired of a group chat and all the required responses? Thomas DeRazio sure is, and the Pennsylvania dad's line in the sand to his family has gone viral, thanks to his daughter, who reposted his comments on Twitter. I can't keep up with the pressure of always having to LOL or like or heart everyone's random thoughts, pics, and amusements, he wrote. For all future texts, I love them, laugh at them, or like them. Unless it's bad, then I dislike them. In perpetuity. I can't live with this pressure. I'm out. The tweet now has more than 14.5 million views, and as his daughter noted ironically, now he has about 1 million texts to respond to. Before we go, a hello and a big thank you to some of our amazing recurring donors, including Andrea Nunez of Tampa, Florida, Miranda Fan of Lafayette, Colorado, and Donna Stedman of Phoenix, Arizona. And to our Kid News classrooms, a shout out for Mrs. Green and her Green Team stars at John L. Golden Elementary in Etiwanda, California. Mrs. Mitchell and her Pirates at Clymer Central in Clymer, New York. Mrs. Williams at Heights Elementary in Fort Myers, Florida. Mrs. Perkins and her Eagles at South Putnam Central in Greencastle, Indiana. And Mr. Donahue at Falmouth Middle School in Falmouth, Maine. We're so glad you're listening, and thank you for all your great comments on our social channels. We love the feedback and might use some of them in our emails. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here for more Kid News tomorrow morning.